Today's notch tip is all about goal setting. It's important to set goals, but equally important to review those goals. So some goals need to be modified or amended because you're looking at different trajectories at work or you're looking at different challenges at work. So really, as you're setting those goals, don't just leave them as a one-time event. Actually review those goals, see if you hit those milestones you've set for yourself, and sometimes modify them to make sure they are aligned with what you're doing. So I would say that goal setting is not static, it's actually dynamic, and keep refining and reviewing if you're meeting them. And that is very important. Take care. Choosing a mentor is probably one of the most important things you'll do in your career. It's very difficult to have one mentor for everything. So a same mentor who is very good at the professional development may not be as knowledgeable about your personal situation and how you'd like to grow there. So try to have more of an executive board of mentors where one or two per realm of your life will be very helpful to give you tips and tricks from their experiences. So that's our notch tip for today, which is just think about a mentor as somebody who can help you in one facet, but not all facets, and try to have a few as you develop in your career to help you grow in the different realms of your life. Take care. It's very tempting when you first start to try and take on big tasks to showcase your skills, especially to your superiors or your boss. But I'd argue that you should try and master the fundamental simple tasks so that they become very, very, very routine for you before taking on something that is a little bit more complex that has some risk towards your career. So when you first start out, especially in the first year or two, make sure you master the basics, the fundamentals, so they become automatic for you. And then slowly layer on top of that the more complex and difficult tasks. So start simple, it doesn't really count to impress somebody with a major task that's high risk and high reward early, and then over time, graduate to more difficult tasks. Take care. Another Notch Academy tip today is about being active with your online presence. It's not enough to have a great CV or to have tremendous accomplishments professionally. Those are, of course, the starting points. But do make sure online that's reflective of what you're doing and take an active approach in control of your reputation. You've worked hard, you've earned it, you've got those qualifications, so certainly get out there and make sure that they reflect your quality. Don't leave it out there on a passive level for somebody else to determine just how qualified you are or how talented you are. So take an active role in determining your online presence. Take care. Email is a very effective and efficient way of communicating, but beware of the email that is lasting several paragraphs. Usually that may indicate that there's a conflict or a complicated issue, and it may be easier and more efficient to actually have a conversation. So don't forget about the conversations. They're actually as important and very, very effective when you're dealing with complex issues, and also can explain the nuances of a situation that may not be captured in an email. So for me, when I see myself sending a prolonged email, I recognize it might be time to take a time out and actually have a conversation. Take care. Today's notch tip is about feedback and fear of feedback. When you first start your career, certainly you want everything to be perfect, but that's not realistic. So do not fear feedback. In fact, welcome it when you first start. Constructive criticism is a tremendous way to improve and get better and to grow. So although you may have difficult conversations that seem personal, listen to the message and not the messenger per se as it being a personal attack. It's not meant to be that way. And try to find something that can help you grow in any situation when you're obtaining feedback. Feedback is critical, important, and helps you get better. And do welcome it early in your career. Take care. Today's notch tip is really all about appreciating and also learning from senior colleagues. When you first start out in your practice or in your career in any field, you have excellent, contemporary, up-to-date knowledge and expertise. But what really enables you to succeed is taking that expertise and content knowledge and delivering results. And that takes building communication skills, interpersonal relationships, and really leaning on senior colleagues. So my tip today is find senior colleagues who are very successful and really look at what they do to make sure they get their knowledge and translate it into results. What are they doing? How are they communicating? And that's so important. Take care. Communication skills are so important, and it's important to recognize that different people, different generations communicate using different modalities. So when you first start, if you want to be accessible, you may want to consider having email ways of communicating, a phone call to communicate, even a fax potentially to communicate, being part of a WhatsApp group. So having a multimodal way of communicating with different people across different generations can be very, very helpful for you to reach out and get many, many links in your organization. So really consider having multiple ways to be reached and to communicate in order to be successful in your new role. Take care. Oftentimes when you join an organization, they do offer courses in leadership development, communication skills, etc. So it's easy to blow off those emails or communications because you're quite busy, but I'd encourage you to actually look at them very, very sincerely and actually take some of those courses if you have the bandwidth. Because when you do apply for leadership roles or positions, one of the prerequisites would be, have you taken a previous course addressing the skills that are required for that position? So if you haven't taken those courses, it gets very difficult for you to obtain them because you're at a competitive disadvantage. So look for opportunities to learn other skills within your organization, ask for them, and pursue them. Take care. With the hustle and bustle of Europe's top conference in sports medicine, I think it's important to say that in your career, invest in deep relationships and not just numbers. It's easy to meet a lot of people, but do try to make sure that those connections are actually deep, they have mutual understanding, chances for collaboration and cooperation. So don't just invest in numbers, think about depth of relationships. Take care.